What's up, you Peaky Blinders? Welcome to episode 3 of the Salty Nerd Podcast, where we cover our favorite show, Peaky Blinders. I'm joined as always by my fantastic panel of nerds. Charles is here. What's up, dude?
Hello.
And you got a TV in your background now, which is good. Nice Peaky Blinders logo back there. Dutch is here. What's up, dude?
Hi, I'm here.
Yes. One sip,
I had
and
one
you
little
are
sip and I'm
glassy already.
Third. It's like,
That's
here we
a
go.
lightweight.
I know, dude. It's ridiculous.
Jude is also here.
Hello.
What's up, Jude?
How are you?
I love this show. Every week, I'm like, I get to watch Peaky Blinders today. It's gonna be freaking rad.
It is.
And of course, producing the show, Matt Kadish. What's up, dude?
Playing 4D chess over here.
Yeah, man.
That he is.
All right. Without further ado, let's get into it, guys. And make sure to comment below your favorite parts of the episode. As always, like, subscribe if you're brand new here. If you love Peaky Blinders as much as we do, the more amperage we get behind these videos, the more likely it is we'll cover season 2. So let's get into it. The first amperage, you know what I mean? Like
Amperage.
good word. It's a good word for getting
Is it a real word?
Yes, it is. a real word.
Amperage?
Yes, amperage is a real word. It's
Measurement.
mostly for
I don't trust you in
electricians.
words anymore.
It's him you shouldn't trust with words.
He destroys names.
No names. Yeah.
You've been using a lot of weird words lately, so you know.
You just noticed?
Yeah, you need to get a grip on your weird words.
I need to get a grip.
He's a businessman now. He uses
Actually,
business words.
he's a business.
Salty's gonna end up hating
Handle your
me.
business, damn.
He makes fun of me for saying grip.
I would
Oh, that's a grip of thing. You know, like you would do.
totally would.
All right, let's get into this. Tommy Shelby walks into the garrison and orders a drink. That's the first opening scene of this new episode for episode 3, season 1.
Flirty flirt happens.
Yeah, flirty flirt with Grace. He's setting up for a meeting. He's asking for a couple glasses. They're going to be meeting with the Irish because she says Scotch or Irish, and he says Irish. And until a little bit later, you don't really realize that he's doing that for a very particular reason.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts on this opening scene? This Grace Tommy thing. It escalates
It's
real
crackling.
far.
Yes.
Yeah,
Crack-a-lackin'.
it escalates in this episode
Because
to a point.
he is intrigued. He
Mhm.
doesn't quite trust her yet, but he's intrigued, and she's trying to worm her way in.
She's
in
a
that exchange.
great operative.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
She's
really good at
cool
her
as a
job.
cucumber.
Yeah.
Yes, she is.
Doesn't let anything get to her.
No. And I think, the thing is, obviously she had some, there was a barrier to entry because I'm like, wow, they were just like, you're way too pretty to be working at this shithole.
Sure.
Well, it's actually not even that shitty of a place, but it's just like, you're way too, in this part of Birmingham.
You never see women in bars.
No.
Unless they're like low class.
Women of the street.
Yeah, but for a woman that looks like her and she presents herself in such a way that she
Yes.
was raised like
Proper.
upper that so she doesn't seem like the kind of woman that you would find in a place like this.
So that
Or like
immediately
you
made me-
doing in a place like this.
Yeah.
That immediately made him suspicious. But anyway, yes.
The next scene, we see that Tommy Shelby is meeting with 2 Irishmen who reveal themselves as being part of the IRA.
Yes.
And they are asking about these guns. He's like,
Grace
They've
is
heard
listening
things. And
in.
yes.
Grace is on the other, literally with
She's-
like a tin
she's got
can,
cup.
like, listening to the other side. Doing operative shit, Yeah.
Being
High
subtle
tech.
about it.
Yeah.
High tech.
High tech stuff.
And so they basically have heard that potentially the Peaky Blinders were behind
Mhm.
the robbery.
Anything that happens, everybody's like, Peaky Blinders.
What?
Like Peaky Blinders.
Time out.
Hit us.
The last 2 episodes, nobody's supposed to have known about these guns except like 2 people.
Sure.
And now this episode, I feel like everybody and their mother
Well,
knows that the Peaky Blinders have these guns all of a sudden.
here's my line of thought on this because I
Okay.
noticed that too. And I'm like, hold on. Tommy Shelby was like, nobody fucking knows this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Except for Paulie knows.
Mhm.
Okay. Arthur doesn't know yet, but
He will.
the police chief knows.
Yes.
And everybody who's on the police chief's force knows.
Yes.
Okay.
And once you got that grip
All right.
of guys
Yeah.
who know,
You're using the word.
once you get a grip of guys like the police force,
Grip of guys.
when they're off the clock and they take their badge off and they go start blabbing their mouths
To their
Also,
wives
they're
or their
not
mistresses.
They're not as smart as Sam Neill. So
No.
they're just like, well, we'll go in and we'll beat people up.
Yeah.
And,
Well, of
and
course.
We'll make them tell us.
I mean, how many dinosaur anthropologists are you going to find in 1919?
Right.
Be honest.
Yeah. So that's kind of where my line of thought is going. So
All
it's
right.
word,
That
is,
makes
sense.
word is
Yeah.
spreading.
It's
And
Word is out.
It's the dirty cops.
yeah, the
Yeah.
dirty cops are spreading the word. Now the IRA
like a
is
grip of
involved.
information.
It's a grip of information out there.
But here's the great thing. The great thing about it. Great thing. Awesome.
Yep.
I think that Thomas, as he is, Tommy is being like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, no, he plays it like, I don't know anything about any guns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because he already kind of has a plan in place as to get rid of them.
Mhm.
And I love how he answers a question with a question. They're
Yeah.
like, They're like, if you give us the gun, we'll give you good money. Guys,
He's like, oh, you've
do
got
you
good
have
money.
good money?
Yes.
Oh, you have good money.
Turns it
do you?
around on him.
Uh-huh.
But
This-
he's very good.
This
about it.
one Irishman's reaction to this whole thing, and he's like, "Oh, you're part of the IRA, huh?" And he starts just singing the anthem of the IRA.
Yes. And his
Super
buddy, and his buddy's just
like,
like,
"Shut the fuck up!"
And here's the interesting thing, because this will come into play later.
Mhm.
Now that Gracie is hearing that they're IRA, her hackles are up.
Mhm.
Oh, because her father was murdered by the IRA,
Yes.
so now she wants some kind of.
She wants to find out
comeuppance.
more.
Yeah.
Yes.
But this guy who starts singing, he gives me freaking weirdest vibes, dude. Like
Oh,
he
yeah.
creeps me out. As soon as he's got those eyes, he took 2 shots of whiskey, and he's already like,
Weak sauce.
I mean, Vader over here.
You know what?
he's not Irish.
I think he was already lit before he.
No,
got
but he takes like one shot and he's like, "Oh, I'm fucked up."
No, I never said that. I said it just hit weird. That's all.
Gonna start singing some
This is-
ditties over
this
here.
is
Wake
Scotch,
up in
not
the morning
Irish.
Yeah.
feeling like P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
God.
so Charles, you think
Brush
you
your
think this
teeth
guy's
with a bottle of Jack.
Oh,
you think this guy's pre-gaming it?
oh yeah,
Really?
yeah.
So he came in toasted, and then he took a couple more
Oh,
shots
yeah,
just to
yeah.
have the meeting.
He's
Yeah.
still drunk from yesterday.
He's still drunk from
This morning.
yesterday. He went to another
He hasn't
bar.
even been to
He went to
bed
another.
yet.
You know this thing. He went to another bar asking about the guns. He got
Mhm.
drunk there too. So
Fair enough. Fair enough.
it's the morning too.
You've never been drunk at 7 a.m. from yesterday.
Only if
Come
I
on, man.
podcast.
You've
His
never
buddy-
been out all night and then been like, shit, that's the sun.
midnights.
His buddy escorts him out as
Drags
he's
him
still
out.
singing the anthem of the IRA, and Tommy just kind of laughs it off and shrugs.
He's like, all right, I'll let you know about those guns,
yeah,
buddy.
yeah, sure
and,
thing.
And smart Grace being Grace, he wisely starts poking around the edges to
Mhm.
find like, what was that? You know?
Yeah, Tommy's like, oh, they're nobodies. Don't worry
She's
about
like,
it.
oh my, should I be worried
Right.
for my own safety?
Well, she
Yes.
opens it up with like, "I thought you didn't allow singing on Mondays."
Oh yeah, that was nice.
What
no
were my
singing on
country men
Mondays.
doing here?
Because she kind of, it's kind of like teasing him a little bit, kind of making him.
And then
look
when
scarred.
he's like, how do you know they're Irish? And he's like, well, their accents were so thick, I'm surprised you could even understand them.
She's,
So
and she's
good.
like, "Do you want me to sit in and translate for you?"
She's just trying to poke.
She's so good.
She's finding
Good.
any little kink in the armor she
She's
can.
good.
If you didn't know going into the show that she is working for the police, you would be like, this girl's so fucking hot for Tommy.
Oh, yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
yes, maybe a little bit, but I think she's more so she's doing her job.
Can I need to interject.
Go ahead.
You're traveling us through this episode, but you missed the very first part of this episode
Talk to me.
where Freddie and
Oh, Freddie and Ada get married.
They got
I
married.
did miss that part.
it's kind
I
of an
thought that
important
happened
scene.
after this.
No,
Yeah.
no,
it's
they opened
after.
up the show.
Yeah, it's after.
They
This
opened
is right
up the
now.
show with it. That's when
This is.
that's when the aunt's talking to Tommy about.
No,
are you,
bro.
have you been armed yet?
I'm watching.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Are you armed?
So that's afterwards, actually.
Is it?
Because
Oh,
Tommy,
my bad. I thought it was app before that. I thought they
Judge.
opened the show with
We
it.
don't got to get all bogged down.
and he
in
said
order.
that one drink of
Whatever.
scotch didn't affect him.
No.
yeah, because that's what happened is that Tommy leaves the garrison to go home, and then we
Yeah.
see Ada and Freddie.
And it
get
cuts to
married.
Ada and Freddie, and
then-
Ada shows up again. I'm gonna say it. The show is
Ada
shot
looks so
so
cute.
beautifully.
Yes,
Where like she's just running in slow motion with her white dress in the dirty
Brum streets.
Birmingham streets, Birmingham, and
Brum.
it just
I-
I don't know. It's just really well done. Go
I
ahead.
watch this show, and every episode that I watch makes me thankful I live in 2024 because I feel itchy and gross, and like I need to take a shower.
Yeah,
Kind of like how I felt after watching that movie Matt made us watch this
Oh,
week.
God.
Same kind of feeling.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel so gross. People throwing piss buckets out
Oh,
in the
God,
freaking
that's
street
gross.
and stuff. It's like this is like 100 years ago. It's not
Well,
even that long.
It's not that long ago.
There's like a part
And-
later in the episode where Grace throws up, but she's like got her hands all in it. And
Yeah,
there's
it's
like
like,
blood on her
Jesus
hands and
Christ.
puke.
Okay, we
and
can
she's like
stop
wiping.
there.
Oh, sorry.
Let's give Ada some time. So Ada's
Yeah.
very happy and very excited about getting married.
and
She's
is somebody
so
watching
hopeful.
them? That was the shot
Well,
was interesting.
That's interesting. It's a perspective that this episode did a couple of times.
Yeah, multiple times.
Multiple
they did that.
times they do the shot where you're watching the two characters, but you're watching them from like behind a curtain
Mhm.
or like through a window pane or something like that. And it doesn't outright tell you that somebody's watching them. It
Mhm.
just kind of like visually shows you like there might be somebody.
But one of the times there was somebody
Yeah.
else.
One of the times
Yeah.
there was, yeah,
Yeah.
when it was with Grace.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get
Yeah.
there.
We'll get there in a minute.
So yeah, Tommy is basically told that Freddie didn't leave town because he's a fucking moron.
Ugh.
What a douchebag.
I'm not
Yeah.
scared of Tommy.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
We'll get there in a minute, though.
Walk up to him without your gun.
Oh yeah, and then that's true. So we
Yeah, so we go back to Detective Campbell, Sam Neill.
Everybody just keeps twisting in that
Oh my
knife if
God.
you've never served
Yeah.
your country.
Yes.
Bro.
I serve my country
Even
every
his
day.
number one guy, man. Even his number one guy.
it's just like don't respect him. Yeah.
But he's talking to his I don't know what, not chief police assistant.
He's
What,
like sergeant or
his
something.
sergeant or something
Yeah.
like that,
Mhm.
and kind of discussing what's going on. And
And he gives too much information away.
Yeah.
Like he should be protecting Grace more.
Yes. Yes. Oh, because that comes out. Yes.
He's
that's right.
like, does she have to do everything for you? And he's like twisting his mustache about like, haha,
yeah,
I have some information and
he
I
straight
know
up
a
says,
secret I can't tell you.
Yeah, yeah.
And now it's fucking out that
Yeah.
they have a female operative getting close to the Shelbys.
he's like, I got a female operative that does more than 20 of your men, you know? And the guy's, of course, the guy's going to take that personally.
especially back then.
Yeah.
This is pre-suffragette
Yeah.
movement. So
Yeah. So now he's pissing off his sergeant, he's got dealings
already
with,
doesn't respect him.
he's got dealings with the Shelbys as well. You know, it's not like the guy's walking like a greenhorn. He's like, no, he's the chief or the sergeant of the police force. He knows the Shelbys.
That was a great use of the word greenhorn. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Been using a lot of cool words lately.
Yes.
Greenhorn's a good word.
A whole grip of them.
Yeah.
A whole grip of good words. We're gonna make a thing out of that. Oh man.
So then we see our drunken IRA man stumbling, bumbling down the street.
Grace
And
is following him.
But
who
is he-
is behind him?
Yeah.
But our
Gracie.
little female operative.
Yeah, Grace is behind him, but I'm wondering. Is
She's
this guy
not great
faking
at
it?
following people.
No, like she's a great operative when it comes to actually being in there. But when she's following this guy and he's like stumbling around, but then as soon as they turn that corner, he's like sober.
I think he
Dead
kinda-
sober.
I think he kind of played it up a little bit. She basically went rogue. She shouldn't have followed him.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
That's not what her training was for.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. She's an infiltrator.
She's the operative that's supposed to get close to you.
Honeypot.
Like the sleeping with your enemy.
Honeypot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she gets herself in a sticky situation. The guy clocks her that she's following him, and then he attacks her, and he's like, "I'm going to take you back, and we're going to interrogate you, find out what you know." She fucking shoots him.
Yeah.
And somebody sees it.
Well, I mean, yeah, and she's got this little like pocket purse thing that she's
Mhm.
got her gun in,
Mhm.
and it doesn't tell you, but it shows you later on. Detective Campbell's holding the bullet that killed the guy, and it's
Mhm.
very, very small.
And then it shows you the gun later and it has 5 bullets left in it.
Yeah, yeah. So it's very
Is that
obvious.
Like is that like a foreshadow? She's going to kill like 5 more people.
Maybe.
Well, I just think
Maybe.
it's
No,
I just
it's a
found it-
6-shooter.
yeah, I just
has
found it
6
really
bullets.
interesting that like this is not something that's common for her. She's not just like all right, let me load my gun,
Yeah.
you know.
She's not a field
She's-
operative.
yeah.
Well,
So she's got a gun, it has 6 bullets and she put one in a human and that was fucking
it
traumatizing.
messed her up for
It messed
sure.
her up.
But I also want to point out that the caliber of the bullet kind of signifies that it was a woman who did it. And I think all the cops know that because it was a
Oh,
very
okay.
small caliber,
Oh,
like a
That's
22.
true.
Yeah.
And when the sergeant later on was talking to Campbell about
Yeah,
this
that's a
guy,
good
this
point.
IRA member who's dead now, and he's like, yeah, she was shot in the belly by a gun or something, and Detective
Yeah,
Campbell's
but
holding the
that-
pistol,
That
holding
could have
the
been a
round.
boot pistol.
But
'cause
that
those
the-
are always small
But at the
too.
same time, she was seen by somebody because
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
didn't see her face, but they said a
woman.
woman who was blonde.
Right.
So they kind of described her because they saw her from behind. They
Yeah.
didn't see her face.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of hints to the fact that it's
And Samuel's
Campbell's-
pissed. He's like, you had no right. I should pull you. And she's like, no, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing.
'Cause they- 'cause
is
they-
it though?
No, because they meet in the museum.
In
again.
another museum, another high-end
Well,
place.
also, so Sam Neill basically throws the suspicions on the Shelbys for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But what was even more interesting is when he's kind of going over what happened with his sergeant. Sergeant keeps referring to Grace as his spy, and he's
Mhm.
like, "She's not a spy; she's an operative." like it's just like,
a spy, dude.
yeah.
It's just a fancy word for spy,
Fancy
bro.
word for spy, dude.
Like, stop using grip. Stop trying to make grip happen.
Grip.
Stop making grip happen.
I didn't realize I said it until he told me yesterday. Okay, so that whole situation is kind of brewing in the background for the rest of the episode, and then Paulie comes and notifies Tommy that Freddie or Frank, Freddie, right?
Freddie.
Freddie has
Yeah,
not left.
Tommy's like, hey,
Actually, it's Molly, right?
Molly.
Polly.
What's his
Polly.
Is that her name?
Yeah, Polly.
Yeah, Polly.
Oh,
yeah.
Aunt
okay.
Polly tells
Yeah.
Tommy that, hey, Freddie.
She's like,
The best,
are you
the be-
armed?
Yeah, that was my favorite
yeah.
part.
she's like, how you doing? You mad? You armed?
How you
Drunk?
feeling? Got some news for you.
What's your PTSD level?
Yeah. How bad of a mood are you in?
You been
Yeah.
hitting that pipe lately?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he doesn't take the news
Let
well,
me give
of
you a
course.
shoulder massage while I tell you.
But I love this because Tommy always holds things close to the chest, and he's like, I made a promise that he'd be gone. He's like, a fucking promise to who?
Yeah.
Tommy, God damn it.
Fucking
worry about it.
nobody is telling anybody what's going on with anybody. And then everybody's getting pissed that they're out of the loop.
Yeah. Which happens again a little bit with Arthur.
Yes.
Yeah, it happens with Arthur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he basically tells Paulie, like, look, I made a promise to the police chief as part of the deal that Freddie, the communist, would be out of the picture. And now it looks like I reneged on this deal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's not going to be good for us. And now he needs to pivot and adjust.
Mhm.
And the first thing he wants to do is just go kill Freddie.
Which would be awesome.
Probably a good idea.
Sick of this.
Probably
fucker.
a good idea.
Sick of
Freddie
this
is
fucker.
so fucking stupid and proud of himself. He's like, ha ha, I've defied the Shelbys. Now let's incite a strike.
What a dipshit he is. Freddie is so frustrating.
so
He's probably my least favorite
stupid.
character in
Oh,
this
yeah.
season.
I hate
Every show has one of those.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's necessary. You know, you gotta have
something
one
you hate.
character that you hate.
God damn it, Freddie.
Fucking Freddie. Anyway.
But Ada's like, look, we gotta go. Paulie showed up later on and gives him freaking 200 pounds, which
Yes, a lot of money.
is a
Back
shit
then.
ton of money.
Back then.
It's a
And
grip
he
of
doesn't
money.
even have to buy his own boat ticket. She's like,
Yeah.
also, I got
Yeah.
the boat ticket.
Her
All,
Go ahead.
all expenses paid trip to New York.
Ada's like, we could go on a honeymoon that never ends.
Yes,
And he's like,
on the-
no,
on the-
there's a cause.
Ugh.
How about the cause that's in my womb that you put there, motherfucker?
Yeah, there you go.
What year was the Titanic?
1912.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's already happened.
Yeah.
Oh,
That just would have been funny if
If they went on the
if they
Titanic.
went on a Titanic.
I booked your passage on a new boat.
Oh,
the,
the Titanic.
the White Star Liner Titanic.
Well, that's how they started. Was it
Downton Abbey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Titanic sinking.
Nice.
Okay, so then we kind of already touched on this, but Detective Campbell meets up with
Gracie.
Grace at the museum.
She's like, stop trying to be my dad.
Real quick, would there ever be a crossover between Downton Abbey and Peaky
That would be
Blinders?
amazing.
Oh,
That'd be
that'd be so
They-
badass.
Yeah.
They wouldn't
The
operate
fucking-
in similar
the
circles.
Peaky Blinders would destroy that family.
Yes, they would.
No, I mean like they just they host them at the Abbey for a weekend.
Yeah.
It's like,
And this is like
Shenanigans go down.
these rebel
And then
houses.
all of their servants end up pregnant the next month.
Yeah. They end up
There's
pregnant.
cocaine and opium everywhere.
Carson would be very upset.
This is highly irregular. sir.
Mary's just walking through the library going, blimey.
Yeah. Detective Campbell basically just yells at Grace for a little bit about how stupid she was. Don't freaking do that shit. She's like, too bad. I'm still in this game. I've got more information for you. He's like, all right,
Yeah.
fine. You're still useful.
Oh, but there was that one creepy moment.
There's a creepy moment.
She's like, I don't need you to be my father. And he's like kind of like holding on to her hand.
Yeah.
A little bit too long.
I said,
You did say it. You called it.
yeah.
Jude called it. Jude called it.
But you know what, though? You actually brought up a good point in terms of how Freddie's situation undermines him, because now the cops are coming
Mhm.
to Tommy and being like, dude, you need to deliver Freddie to us now.
Yeah.
You submitted your
Yeah, you messed up your deal. Now you
Yeah.
have to call him in.
Exactly.
Or not call him in, but turn him in.
Yeah.
Or we go after your sister.
Yeah. Or we lump
She's
her
an
in.
accomplice. Yeah. Especially
Yeah.
now that they're married. So
I thought they were going to pull some kind of thing where she goes run into the bar that she was like having a miscarriage or something like that. Something very dramatic.
Didn't they hint, because she was like in discomfort
Yeah.
in this episode.
Right.
And I it's been a long time since I've seen this season. I'm not going to spoil anything. I don't remember what exactly happens with her, but they did hint at the fact that like maybe there might be something wrong because she seems
She needs rest.
Well,
You know, but
also,
she's too stressed out. basically.
nobody's ever going to have an easy time of anything in this show.
No.
of course
Sure.
not.
The next scene is one of my favorites in the episode. Tommy Shelby goes down to the Chinatown to the tailor and finds the suit that
Just to be
Oh,
Kimber's
man.
friend.
Mr. Kimber's there.
Yeah.
Those,
He's picking
those
up his
Chinese
suit.
people, they make really
Oh,
good suits.
you get your suits here?
You get your suits here
That's a
too,
good
Mr.
How
Kimber.
convenient.
Oh, that's
How
great.
convenient.
I'll be at the races and I'm bringing Grace. And he's like,
I'm just your friend.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're just cool. We shop in the same
'Cause-
place.
'cause
Oh my
right now-
God, we're
It's like-
besties now,
It's
right?
like bumping into somebody at Target.
Yeah.
Because right now, Billy Kember is still very suspicious and
Yeah.
proud and whatnot.
Well, he's a
He's
dimwit
also a
idiot.
dummy.
Oh, he's dumb
also
shit.
a
So
big
dumb.
dummy.
Well, I also like how like the head Chinese guy is just like
No
no
fighting.
killing, no
No
fighting.
killing.
No fighting.
No fighting here, gentlemen.
Everything's
That suit's sold.
That's what's all.
Yeah, because
Nice.
Tommy talked about how like he doesn't pay for suits because
Yeah.
Grace kept asking him for more money for a nice dress.
Yes.
she's like, "Where do you get your suits?" And he's like, "I don't pay for suits." So now we know he just steals them from the Chinese.
That's what
laundry.
he said when that was in the first scene when he.
Do you think he steals them or he has some?
No,
it's part of his.
gotta
It's
do-
part
of
of
his-
the protection fee.
Yeah, it's part of his
Gotta
shakedown
do.
money.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Because not
okay.
everybody has money to throw at them for protection, so it's a barter system.
Sure, yeah. Okay. I like that. The next scene is Freddie just continuing to do his bullshit.
Freddie
He's
just Freddieing up the whole town.
he's calling for a strike with the workers at the local factory, which is just going to throw a big old wrench in pretty much everybody's plan.
Yeah.
He's over here and he's like, they said we can't convene in more than 3 people, so make sure to group up in parts of 3. And it's like they're doing the whole thing and they're all like, we united, we can stand.
And you
they're-
know what's funny is like the juxtaposition between like Freddie inciting a war and then later at the races when we see Arthur inciting a war.
Yeah.
Oh, it's totally
Oh
different.
my God.
So
Oh, yeah.
different. Yeah.
That's how you fucking start a war.
Every time I see Freddie do this kind of stuff, it reminds me of here at home, with when all the culinary people get
Yeah. I remember that.
It's like, oh, we're gonna strike.
They walk on the strip for 6 months.
Every time I drive past the Silverton, there's always a strike.
And then all of a sudden food costs $10 more.
It's just funny because I work in the casinos.
Yeah.
And these culinary union strikes, they're all bullshit. They're all staged.
Yeah.
And they're pre-planned with the police, and it's utter nonsense.
Really?
Yeah, and they arrest them, of course, and then they march them back to the bus around the corner and put them in there, and then they let them all go.
Yep.
45 minutes later, it's hilarious. It's
Jesus.
absolutely.
It's all just for the news.
It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Wow.
Little tangent. Sorry, but it's just It's just funny.
Little anti-union tangent.
Fuck out of here. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a reoccurring theme in this show throughout the whole 6 seasons is the war with the unions and the workers' rights and this and that and the industrial complex and all that stuff, to the point where Tommy actually starts raising to the point where he's in charge of the whole industry. But that'll get seasons from now.
But speaking of bullshit, the master of distraction, John warns Tommy that Arthur's pissed. And
Because
so
Arthur
Tommy
finds
comes
out
up
to church.
Well, yeah, Tommy comes up with a plan to distract Arthur from being pissed.
Because now Arthur knows about the theft.
Because it's out there.
He's like, people keep coming up to me and they know more than I do about shit I should already know about. They're like, hey, what's up with the guns? Hey, what's up with Ada? Hey, what's up with this? Hey, what's up with Freddie? I thought Freddie had to leave town. Freddie's back in town. I don't know anything. And I feel like an idiot.
And Arthur,
he's all pissed. And Tommy's like, you want your own bar?
Yeah. He just completely distracts him from it.
I kind of get a kick out of it because, he's in the church with the bottle. I'm like, why are you going to the church? Are you running from vampires? Is there some undead that can't go into church?
Because it feels
they're
like
trying to chase you down. You got to go to the church.
Probably the one
get
place
drunk.
that you can talk about stuff without like
worrying about somebody spying.
Yeah.
Well, it's also the one place that he can go where
It's probably the priest that's spying on everybody and telling everybody.
If you were a priest, you would definitely spy on everybody.
priest is an operative.
Because I think like basically Arthur is the figurehead leader. Just
Yeah,
because
he's the face of the Peaky Blinders.
He's the oldest brother.
Yeah.
And everybody
So
keeps
it makes
coming up to
look
him.
stupid when he doesn't know anything.
Yeah, I think he went to the church to get peace and quiet. I think it was just like he can't go to the bar.
I
It's
think
too
he was
loud.
trying to run away from vampires. That were
Okay, all right, yeah. Hey, man, crossover for vampires and Peaky Blinders.
Yeah.
I'm down.
I hate you fucking blind
I'm
us.
down. Vampire hunters.
Eric Northman was trying to
Fucking
chase him out.
Lestat keeps trying to get me to suck his dick, and I'm like, I'm not sucking dick.
Jesus.
And Rice
That
vampires out there.
escalated.
Deep cut reference.
More like deep sucker.
Oh no.
Charles, how dare you? We run a classy show here.
Little did he know, Lestat's like, I'll go into it.
Yeah.
No problem.
But you kind of felt bad because he got really kind of. It wasn't just anger. It was just kind of like he just felt.
He felt like an idiot.
Yeah.
Like it was like
He was humiliated.
his ego was bruised because now he's not the guy to go to for answers anymore. And I did feel bad.
Well,
for
he
Arthur.
knows he's not in charge. He's been playing along.
Yeah, but
but-
still.
No,
he's
that's bullshit. He absolutely knows
But this is stuff. This
that
is
the Miller brothers in charge. They even had the whole thing with the episode last week
Where
when
Kimber
it said,
came in.
"You're the dumb kid. You're the whatever," and then you're the one that's in charge. And
Mhm.
it's not a
Yeah,
secret.
but even if you know you're like
Not useless,
not
but
useless, but like he pretty much is useless in the business.
Mhm.
But like name one person who is useless who enjoys feeling that way.
I don't
Like
think
he's not in charge, so therefore nobody's looping him in on the important shit. So he feels like a fucking chump.
what were you gonna say?
I don't think he. I think he's. I don't think he feels like he's not important. I think he feels like he has a role. It's just he's not the one calling the shots.
It's the same thing with Polly.
It's kind of like, so think of it like this. It's like with Kristen Cole. He feels small. He feels small and irrelevant now.
How dare you
That's
bring
the
up?
thing.
But
Yeah.
he
Kristen
certainly enjoys his role when he gets to go.
When
out.
he because I think what Tommy,
as we'll find out here in about
He has
10
his
minutes.
strengths.
Tommy's issue, I think, right now with Arthur is that he doesn't have anything for him to do because he's trying to keep everything under
Right.
the table.
Yes.
And Arthur's not the under the table kind of guy.
No.
He is the brute force, go out there and enforce the Peaky Blinders
And
rules.
once Arthur, once you crank Arthur up, you can't reel that back in. Tommy has control
Yeah.
that Arthur does not.
Right.
But it is funny how Tommy recognizes that this is like a point of weakness.
Mhm.
And so he basically steals this guy's bar to give to Arthur to run, because when they were away in France, Arthur was always talking about one of his dreams was to run his own pub.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, I'm going to fulfill one of your dreams and you're going to run this bar. And he's like, I don't know anything about running the bar. I've just always drank in them. And he's like, well, now you just serve the drinks instead of drinking.
Serve it instead of pour it, buddy.
So now they have the Garrison in another bar.
I think, no, this is the Garrison.
That was the Garrison.
Tommy purchased the Garrison or is going to, has plans to, or something like that.
Wait, I thought the Garrison was already there.
It was the Peaky Blinders headquarters, but it wasn't their bar.
Yeah. So he's
Oh.
going to throw some money at this
Okay.
bar man and tell him we're buying
Yeah.
the bar and Arthur's going to run it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or he's just going to say, hey, let Arthur run it. And
Yeah.
then we'll just pay.
And I mean, I don't think that guy's going to argue with Tommy
No.
Shelby.
yeah, he's
right?
not going to argue.
He's like, hey, from now on, Arthur's your boss. And he's like, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Here's another
Um,
thing too. This is something that I've questioned. Why are these guys, and granted, I like the setting. The setting of Birmingham in 1919 is fun, but why are they not in Ireland or even Northern Ireland?
Well, these guys, the Peaky Blinders are
They're English.
They're not Irish.
I thought they were,
No, because if they were, they'd probably be part of the IRA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
okay, because their accent, and granted, it could just be a Northern.
Well, they were Romanian gypsies, right? That they were kind of extended from that.
Oh,
but they-
Romany. Okay.
Yeah, Romany gypsies. And but then they went and fought for the British in World War One,
Mhm.
and so
Good.
they're headquartered in the UK, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
So
makes
they're
sense.
not Irish. I know Cillian Murphy is Irish.
Yes.
But I don't think he's playing an Irish character in the show. Correct us if we're wrong in the comments.
Alabama is a very strong British stronghold. Birmingham, Alabama.
Technically,
I knew it.
technically, it would be New Birmingham if many
Go down to Alabama.
Uh,
Peaky Blinders in Alabama.
Bro, is there a chapter? Is there a Peaky Blinders chapter in Alabama?
I wouldn't be surprised.
That'd be fucking dope.
We got ourselves some Peaky fucking
Oh,
Blinders.
yeah. Oh, fuck yeah, man. We got some moonshine.
Let's go down to NASCAR race.
Shit.
We're gonna go
the
fix that.
Peaky Blinders theme song. My baby.
Wow.
I love it.
Birmingham, Alabama.
Pretty
Talk
fucking
about
good.
Yeah, talk about a deep cut. Little Euro trip reference every once in a while.
Man.
Literally, man. Jesus. That shit.
Jude's on fire today.
That's
All right, the next scene. The police sergeant shakes down Tommy Shelby about Freddie. And he's like, look, you fucked up our deal. Now I'm going to take him in and I'm going to take your sister
And
if you
now
don't hand him
now
over.
he threatens Ada.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
and this
Ada is losing her mind. She is freaking out.
yeah, she's super stressed. And Tommy's pissed because he's like, God damn it. Why won't this guy just fucking listen? I gave him
And
a,
also, Tommy doesn't believe that Freddie actually loves Ada. He thinks
I
that
think it's a means to an end.
Freddie is using Ada
To
to
get to
get
him.
to Tommy because
Yeah.
Tommy thinks everything's about him.
Yeah.
But he's loved her since she was 9,
and I was 12.
and I was 12.
I'm glad you specified that,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
I was 27 and she was the best looking 9-year-old.
And then
Bro.
even more so, what does he do? He goes and returns the money because he's a
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he meets Tommy
Also,
Shelby
This is just such a dick measuring move.
at the
He just,
river
like throws this money at
as he's
like,
holding a gun to his head.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, this guy wants to kill you,
Mhm.
and he's got the means
will
and the power
kill
to
you.
do it.
All Freddie wants is for Tommy to accept him, but he doesn't feel comfortable talking to Tommy without a gun aimed at him because
Yeah.
he's a fucking
because he's scared of him.
bitch.
Because he's scared of him.
Well,
Yeah.
Tommy's like, look, man, communists are bad for business. Like,
Yeah.
I can't be having
Well-
you in my family.
Well, speaking of that, there's this great scene. I think it happens after the confrontation, but Grace says that, like, women talk, and Tommy's like,
It's
yes,
kinda-
they
it's
do
kinda
that. And then,
interwoven throughout this scene.
and then she's like, maybe men should talk, and he's like, men don't do that.
Yeah.
It's like, or I'm paraphrasing, but like he had this great kind of thing where it's like men don't talk, you know. And
yeah, men like keep it inside
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that, and women talk.
Yeah.
And
Tommy, as always, cool as a cucumber. Turns the tides a little bit on Freddie. They're both aiming guns. Like he gets a chance to draw his gun on Freddie, and they have this back and forth. And this is the confrontation where he's like, "I know what you're doing. You put a baby in my sister so that you could be part of the family." And he's like, "Do you really think that's what I'm doing?" He's
Well-
like, "I love your sister," and he still doesn't
I
believe
just
it.
happen to also be an idiot.
I just also exactly.
happen to be dumb as
I
fuck.
also happen to be the worst in-law you're ever gonna have.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's a back and forth. I'm surprised that nothing really popped off in this scene. I thought for sure that they were going to have it out, but they ended up just kind of Tommy just put the gun down and walk away.
well, they're also like really old friends.
Yeah,
and I think
They were in the war together. Freddie
Childhood
saved
friends. They were
Tommy's
childhood
life.
friends.
They were best
Yeah,
friends.
but-
And that's why he's known Ada since she was 9 years old, because he was Tommy's best friend growing up.
That's the only reason why
and
Freddie's not dead.
Also, like, you know, the fact that all these guys were like literally in the tunnels together in like the worst
Mhm.
part of the war,
Mhm.
like that type of thing creates a bond that's like hard to break
Yeah.
because like it's like a shared traumatic experience.
And
Shared
every
trauma,
night
yeah,
they're
trauma
all
bonding.
back there,
Yeah.
having these nightmares.
Yeah, this episode featured one of the more visceral. God dang,
Visceral.
Scotch.
get a grip
I
back.
thought you were
Yeah.
good. Get a
Um,
grip, dude. Come on.
He had a really intense dream about the tunnels in this episode that kind of gives a little bit more of a full picture of what they went through down there. And
Yeah.
There was a confrontation between the two where there was a tunnel. It was the end of the wall, but they could hear somebody on the other side of the dirt. Like,
And they're
picking-
They're
trying to be
digging.
quiet and figure out what
Yeah.
to do when this guy just fucking
comes
Breaks
right
through.
through, starts stabbing.
Yeah.
Danny gets stabbed, I think, and then he has to shoot the other guy.
We see Danny again.
Yeah,
in
we
this
see Danny.
episode.
Danny's in this twice.
He
He's
is.
in-
Yeah.
He comes and talks to Tommy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a. I love these little tidbits. I love that they're not overused, and I like that they pepper them in every once in a while. But it gives you an idea of what
Mhm.
the background of
The
all
psychology
of,
of Tom
all
and
these
Shelby
yeah.
and all these guys who were in the
Yeah.
war. Yeah.
And there was a line in this episode where he says something like, "Now we have the guns and they're in the fucking mud,"
Uh-huh.
right? And it's like we've finally
He
gotten
says that to
ourselves.
Arthur.
Yeah, he's like, we've finally gotten ourselves out of this bullshit,
Yeah.
and I'm not letting that go.
Yeah.
So Arthur doesn't want to get rid of the guns.
Well, Arthur just wanted to know what was going on.
Yeah.
And I love the way that we're going back now, but I love the way that Tommy gave Arthur this information. Like the way that Cillian Murphy acted out this scene. He's like, we got some fucking luck.
We got to win.
Fell into
Yeah.
our laps.
Yes.
Don't worry, because we're gonna stick it to him.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was really well acted.
He was able to rein in his older brother.
Mhm.
But immediately after this confrontation between Tommy and Freddie, Tommy goes to confront Polly and he's like, do you see what kindness gets you?
Yep. Look, just backfired in our face.
Now Ada is going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Polly kind of ate the crow on that one.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in many ways, she underestimated how stupid Freddie was. gonna be
Yeah.
and prideful.
Well, yeah, she wanted to believe that Freddie was only out to look out for Ada, but
Mhm.
Freddie's got his own agenda. He
Mhm.
loves Ada and he's excited for this baby that they're going to have because he's always wanted to marry Ada. And now he had to marry her. So great, win-win. But also he has his own agenda.
Mhm. Freddie loves his
And
cause more.
He just has to prove his manliness.
To Tommy.
Yeah.
Well,
and
I
like
mean-
that he's not afraid of Tommy.
Freddie wants to be Tommy. Like he wants to be like this powerful figure in the community.
But as a communist.
And that's one of the reasons why he's like leading this communist labor movement is
Mhm.
because like he wants to achieve that
anti-Tommy.
status.
Yes.
Well, it's kind of like the alternate Tommy, I'd say.
Tommy variant.
Yeah.
Tommy variant.
Grace and Tommy have a conversation. So this is after Tommy gets some rest. He has a couple of dreams. There's a little bit of back and forth between him and Danny,
Oh, and yeah. So
reminiscing about the war.
I just wanted to say, like, does Tommy ever not get woken up by someone like banging on his door, screaming his name?
Something's fucked up, Tommy.
He's already having PTSD,
Yeah.
like night terrors, and then every single day, someone's like, "Boom, boom, boom, Tommy, get the fuck up, Tommy! There's a fire, there's an emergency, there's a murder, there's a
There's
this,
something.
there's
something.
guns."
Always something.
Fucking hell, man!
And then
Can this guy ever just like naturally wake up?
No.
Never.
No.
Never. Not in Peaky fucking Blinders. So then after this, Tommy is going to the races.
Yes.
And he invites Grace.
Oh, Grace puts on her sexy.
Yes, she's looking
That
sexified.
red
Well,
dress, man.
I liked how Tommy was like, make sure the dress is red so it matches his handkerchief. And
Mhm.
she's like, whose handkerchief? And he's like,
he just
"Don't
walks
worry
away.
about it." Yeah. But you can tell like Tommy has like this whole plan just like mapped out.
Yes.
And she's just Grace is just a little pawn in his little game.
And then we get this ridiculous like slow motion getting dressed montage that's like lit in just a perfect way where Grace, okay, the back and forth between this is Grace putting her dress on and putting her makeup on, all that stuff, and it's backlit with this like angelic white gold light, and then it hard cuts to Tommy getting ready with a black background and a stark white light where it's just shadow and silhouettes of him putting his suit on and putting bullets in his gun, and it's just this back and forth between the two.
It's all hard lines.
It's so freaking badass.
But you know, the thing is that he's pretty much just putting on the same thing he always does, but it's a slightly nicer suit.
But also the sequence ends with both Tommy and Grace holstering their weapons.
Yes.
Yeah, and she's got those 5 bullets left.
That's the point where they show you. Yeah.
It's kind of almost like their nowhere to run type situation, like in The Outsiders.
Yeah.
So nice little
nobody has a tussle without me. Be cool, gold boy. Gold. What is this? Pony boy.
Stay gold.
Stay gold, pony boy. Thank you.
Every time I go through a yellow light, I go, stay gold.
Stay gold. Stay gold, pony boy. That's awesome. Oh my God. So Arthur and his boys are also off to the races, but for a very different reason.
Arthur's starting his getting the people.
Go ahead, take it away.
Up. Well, Arthur's just getting the Peaky Blinders amped the fuck up to go against the Lees.
I think they kind of tell us what the strategy is going to be. Is their whole thing is they are trying to get closer to Billy Kemper because he's the big dog in Birmingham.
Yeah, and they've got to make a big show against the Lees so that they solidify their friendship with Kemper.
So it's not only kind of proving that the Lees are stiffing them, but it's also saying like, hey, look what we can do to them. So now because the Lees, I think, are Billy Kemper's muscle.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's basically showing, hey, we're showing not only are they stiffing you, that we can out-muscle them. That we can out-muscle them.
So the Lees aren't Billy Kemper's muscle. They're paying his muscle off so that they can do this stuff like on the down low. Basically, they're skimming profits off of Billy Kemper without him knowing about it.
That's right. Yes.
But the interesting thing about this is so before this scene, Tommy picks up Grace. And Tommy's uncle is like, you can't go to the races by yourself. Like, that's suicide. And Tommy's like, don't worry about it. And then we see
He's like, this car only holds 4 people. You need more than that.
Yeah. And then you see a freaking goddamn truck, like a troop truck, drive off with the Peaky Blinders in it.
Yeah. And Tommy's plan is basically they're going to go and shake down the guys who are shaking down the racetrack, the Lees, and then return the money instead of keeping the money. They're going to return it to Billy Kemper to show what their value is. And he's going to be like, hey, all these guys were ripping you off. Here's your money back. If you want to, keep this relationship going, like these are our terms.
And Arthur corners a guy in the bathroom.
Oh, this is so brutal.
And his money.
Yeah.
So just so
I'll take the other ear.
Just so I'm very clear on this, and I want to make sure I'm understanding this properly. So the Peaky Blinders are paying the Lees to skim money off the top.
No.
They're not facilitating this?
No. The Lees are doing this on their own.
They're doing it on their own.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Lees, and this is one of the reasons why, that there's this rivalry that was revealed in this second episode. But the Lees are basically doing like the organized crime mafia thing where they have
gypsies.
Yeah. They have Billy Kemper's muscle in their pockets because they're paying them off. And then they're just running these scams on this guy's racetracks and basically stealing from him. And Tommy knows about this because of his relationship with like the gypsies and the Lees, and he knows like what their organization
He knows what the racket is.
Yeah,
remember, he started this feud with the Lees
on purpose.
So that he could get in with Kimber.
For some reason, I had it in my head that like Tommy was coercing them to do it on their behalf, and then he was going to betray them.
Remember the whole thing with the coins and the horse?
Okay. Yeah. All right, continue. You were in the middle.
I was just saying that basically the Lees are like their own kind of like little criminal family enterprise, and Tommy just knows all their tricks. And so basically, in order to get in with Billy Kemper, he's going to take out the Lees and then put himself and his family in a position where Billy Kemper is going to start leaning on them for security as opposed to like his own guys.
Because his criminal organization is much more trustworthy than the Lee criminal organization.
His ultimate goal is to be legit. He doesn't want to be a criminal.
I'm a businessman.
He wants to be a businessman. Like Alex. With all of his highfalutin words.
Yes.
Yeah. Taking calls from HR.
Yeah.
Stuff.
I gotta
use some big fancy words.
Somebody owes me $17,000. I found out we're going to get it.
All right.
Get that money.
Going to send your brother down
I'm
there.
going to get it one way. I'm going to get it one way or another.
It's like, Jude, get your red dress on.
Yeah, get us all riled up. So Tommy, speaking of red dresses, Tommy uses Grace to get closer to Kimber.
Yeah. So he knows that Kimber
distract him, get his attention.
Has the hots for Grace. So he's like, may I have this dance?
He also knows that Kimber isn't the brains.
No.
So
Yes,
if he can get Kimber alone with Grace, then Tommy can swoop in and make a deal with the actual brain of the operation.
And that is exactly what happens. But then Kimber, I think, may or may not have thrown a curveball at Tommy.
Yes, he did.
And he's like, new condition to the deal.
Yeah.
You give me 2 hours alone with her. Or this is not going to work.
And the way that Tommy goes about this.
It's so sleazy. It's so sleazy.
It is.
Yeah. Oh,
he's
you're
like,
just going to go have dinner with
He's like, you're going to go have dinner with him and we're going to meet you in a little bit.
For 2 hours.
I'll be right back. She's like,
But what was interesting is that before, he kind of pawns Kimber off on Grace. So like he sits down, he basically lays out what the deal is. And you can see like Billy's sitting there and he's just not comprehending anything. He's like, why don't you talk to my accountant while I dance with you, lady? And it's just like such a great way of showing that like he's not actually the guy in charge.
No.
And this guy's poor beaten down wife is just sitting there like whatever.
Yeah, Billy's wife.
Yeah, Billy's wife. Well,
hey man, you marry a mobster, you know what you're getting involved with.
And that leads to an interesting exchange between Tommy and his wife.
Yeah, which I think is what made Tommy change his mind.
Yes.
Is talking with her.
Actually, I think that he probably always planned to go in there and rescue Grace. It was just that he needed like her to go along with it.
I disagree. I think it was a surprise to Tommy that he wanted to save her from this.
Yeah,
that's the impression I got as well.
Yeah. So he's sitting in the car with Billy's wife, and she's like, "Oh, I bet you he said you could have me if you wanted. Well, I'm not a whore, and you can't." And
yeah, she's like, "I'm not a prostitute."
He's like,
"Is your friend a prostitute?" He's like, "I actually don't know." All right, I guess I'm gonna go save her. And Grace would have fucking shot him.
Oh, definitely, he would have killed, and that would have really thrown a wrench.
I thought for sure that she was gonna do that.
Kill him?
Yeah.
She was trying.
Because they were setting that up the whole episode with the gun.
Yeah. She was definitely trying to. If she could get to her gun during that confrontation, she would have. And Tommy came in just right at the right moment.
And said, by the way, she's got the clap.
Oh, dude.
The way he went about doing this was pretty slick.
We gotta set this up.
Okay.
It's slick, but it's also real dirty. So Kimber's forcing himself on Grace. Grace is fighting back.
Yeah.
And Tommy bursts in
with Kimber's
wife in confrontation with the doorman. The doorman's like, "You can't go in there." And he just like freaking plows through the guy. And he's like, "I'm sorry, my conscience got the best of me. But
I can't let you do it.
I can't let you do it. The better part of me says, it's not a big deal if he gets the clap. Who cares? He's my rival, but I just couldn't do that to you. She's a prostitute. She's got an STD. You can't fuck her." And Kimber's just like,
and then Tommy's like, "Let's just shake hands.
Let's just shake hands and pretend it didn't happen."
Grace, how humiliating for Grace with that.
The way that she describes this in the car is spot on.
Yeah.
She said, "I started off the day," because he's like, pretend you're like Lady Sarah fucking Cunningham or something.
Yeah.
She's like, "I started off as Lady Sarah and I ended up a whore with the clap."
With the clap. Yeah. God, rough day for Grace.
And she's initially pissed, but she's like, "Why'd you do it?"
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you think, my question is, does Grace know that Tommy did it to save her and was willing to risk her reputation?
I think, she's so good at her job that I think that she wants to make sure that she wants to put it in his head that he did it for her to make him think that he does have
get closer to him.
Whether he does have feelings for her or not, she's putting that in his brain. She's like, "So why did you save me?" And now he has to be like, "Oh, well, I felt bad.
Yeah.
You're a good person."
Because the camera lingers on Tommy during that scene.
Yeah. So she's trying to get him to either believe or acknowledge that she's a human that he cares for.
Yeah. And that is literally
imprinting.
Cut to black on that episode.
Because he doesn't say, he's an answer.
Yeah, he doesn't answer. That's what I'm saying. The camera lingers on Tommy, and then it just...
Well, Tommy usually doesn't answer questions.
Yeah. He keeps everything close to the chest.
And I think very much with Tommy, who apparently he's asexual, apparently.
I think he just has more important things on his mind.
That too.
Sometimes when you're really stressed out, you can't finish.
I think it would help him out with the stress. But I think that when it comes to Tommy, he's never met a woman like her.
Yeah.
In many ways. So I think even though she's trying to imprint on him and be like, "Why'd you save me? Why'd you save me?" I think that he is kind of getting feelings for her, and he's seeing the value that she has.
Mhm.
And so I think that there is definitely the kernel of a connection.
But also, doesn't Tommy believe that she was like she got knocked up and she had to like leave her
She
town?
was a girl
She
from
was
a
like,
good family who fell in love. This is the story.
This
Who
is
fell
Tommy's
in love,
story.
got pregnant, and the man didn't marry her. So
Which-
she's a good girl.
She didn't disabuse him of that story.
Which,
Yeah.
yeah, she didn't say that
He
wasn't
believes
true.
that she's a good girl.
Right. But
He
it's
doesn't
also,
believe that she's like some virgin angel.
that's
But he
also
also doesn't
Tommy,
believe that she's a prostitute.
yeah, that's also Tommy projecting Ada
Yes.
onto Grace.
Yes.
He sees
Who he loves.
who he loves Ada. It's
Yeah.
his little sister.
Yeah.
And he sees an element of that in Grace, which is why he came to that assumption of her story.
Yeah.
Even though it's completely made up in his head.
But if we can go back to the scene where basically Tommy is telling her, like, you got to go back with him for 2 hours, basically like have sex with this guy.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like the way that Tommy just like lays it out for her, and he's like, "Hey, you want to be a part of this organization? This
Didn't
is
have
the
to do what I
price
tell
of
you."
admission."
Yeah.
yeah.
The price
What
of
a
admission.
gut, what a gut punch.
And in
Damn.
many ways, she could have said "fuck you," but
Yeah.
in Grace's way, she wanted to, but she's like, "This is an opportunity to
Uh-huh.
gain his
Yeah,
trust, to get."
Because she's
in
good
the-
at her fucking job.
Yes.
Now,
Until this guy like
Forced himself. out.
grabs her hair and bends her over a pool table.
yeah. Well, I was going to say, I'm like, she's
Yeah.
very good at manipulating people until it came to Billy Kimber. And I think it's just because Billy Kimber's stupid.
He's stupid. And he's
Yeah,
like one
he was just
instrument.
going to beat the shit out of her
Yeah.
and
Well,
rape
it
her.
was also kind of like a parallel of what happened earlier in the episode with the IRA guy.
Mhm.
Oh,
Where
yes.
basically like she's confident in her ability up until the point where like
There's physical
yeah,
conversation.
where like
Yeah.
a man is basically there to like assault her, and she was trying to do the same thing with him because like she was going for the gun,
Yeah.
but the gun was out of reach, and so like she was literally powerless, and
Yeah.
it wasn't until Tommy came in and saved her that like because otherwise like he would have just destroyed her.
Yeah. Which
Unless
also
you shot him.
keep in mind, makes her maybe more lenient with Tommy because she kind of feels like she might owe him. Like he did come and save me, regardless of what he
but
did. to my
He put her
reputation.
in that.
He put her in that
situation
Right.
the first
It's like, so is it like break even?
Even-ish.
Yeah.
Just like, no.
Even-ish. Even-ish.
Are we like breaking even here? Like, yeah, I put you there, but I also got you out. All right. Well, that's it. That was
Don't worry about it. I have PTSD too.
yeah.
Now we got
Yeah.
PTSD together.
Yeah.
I told
Trauma
everyone
bond.
you got
Yay.
syphilis.
I told
So
everyone.
nobody's going to try and rape you. You're welcome.
Yeah. Nobody will ever try to rape you again because
Yeah.
everybody thinks you got the clap.
Make it clap.
Win-win.
Until you come upon a raper who's like, I got the clap too.
It's all right.
It's not as bad as you think.
The clap, my only weakness.
Anyway, what a fantastic episode. This show just is hit after hit after hit. So I'm really looking forward. Now that the stakes are kind of, I feel like they're escalating
Yes.
in this season. We're only 3 episodes in and already the stakes are
We're
like,
halfway through the season.
yeah.
Yep. This is the
Mid-season
mid-season.
finale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's just 6 episodes.
That's how the Brits do it.
It's good stuff. Anyway,
No filler. No bottle episodes.
This
Right?
This isn't a British show, though, Charles. This is a Netflix original.
I thought it was BBC.
No, it's on BBC, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
BBC
it was.
It's on
started it.
BBC. It's a British show.
Yeah, Netflix picked up the rights after to
they
help
did,
out.
yeah.
But BBC originally started airing the show.
Mhm.
I knew because I was really frustrated because I couldn't watch it when it first aired because I had to wait for Netflix to get it. And I was so pissed.
And now they have it.
No, they got it. All right. That's it, folks. Thanks so much for watching the show. Make sure to comment your favorite part of the episode, your speculations. Let's jump on the train here and come along with us for the
Do
rest of the
you
episode.
use the word grip?
Oh, jeez.
There's a grip of people in the comments right now. I guarantee you. It's a grip. It's like it's a grip.
It's a bunch.
It's a bunch.
Yeah.
It's a
No.
Would you say it's a kung fu grip?
Yes.
You say it's a plethora.
Quit trying to
of
change
grips.
English language. It's terrible anyway,
It's
but
a
you know.
word.
Okay.
Listen, I used to be part of the mafia back east, man.
No,
When
you
they
didn't.
called it grip, it was a grip, okay?
And you're clearly a wordnista.
You know what? He hasn't
Clearly.
done his thesaurus thing
Yeah.
for a while.
Well, that's only for shows I hate.
That's for shows that are terrible. 'Cause
Yeah.
you have to-
And he ran out of all the.
I ran out of
thesaurus
yeah,
words.
yeah, invasion
No,
killed it for him.
invasion.
It has no more words. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks so much for watching the show. Really do appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you're new here, and we'll see you next week. Stay salty.